There comes a silence not everyone hears. It arrives between chapters, when nothing is falling apart, but everything is shifting. Not dramatic, not loud, just undeniable. And in that silence, you begin to notice you're no longer who you were, and it aches more than you expected. You don't miss the masks or the exhaustion of performance, but you do feel the absence of the identity that once held you like armor. You wore it so well, the caretaker, the achiever, the invisible one who made space for everyone else. The version of you that didn't cry unless the door was closed, didn't ask unless the need was unbearable, and smiled like it was stitched into your skin. That version, they didn't just appear, they were forged. In rooms where softness was misunderstood, in moments where your silence was survival, in lives where adaptation was the price of staying close. You didn't choose it, you became it. But now, you find yourself stumbling into freedom. And strange as it sounds, you grieve. Not because that old self was false, but because it was so painfully, beautifully loyal. They shaped themselves around your pain so you could keep walking. They held it all in. The confusion, the unmet needs, the frozen joy. So you could belong, so you could be loved, or at least not abandoned. But now your nervous system is asking for peace, not performance. Now your spirit pulls you toward slowness, toward truth, toward a self that doesn't flinch when seen. And letting go of who you had to be feels like betrayal. It's not, but it feels like it. Because there was a time you were that version with your whole heart. You gave everything you had to be enough for a world that didn't know how to hold you. So when tears rise without warning, when melancholy wraps itself around your ribs like an echo, know this: you are not broken, you are just mourning. Mourning the loss of an identity that once kept you safe. Mourning the voice that never got to speak. Mourning the quiet victories no one ever saw. Mourning the self that never asked for much, but carried so much. Healing is not a highlight reel. It is not always joy and light and reclaimed laughter. Sometimes it is sitting in the stillness, feeling the weight of what you've outgrown, and whispering a soft goodbye to it all. It is remembering the way your younger self tightened their jaw instead of asking for comfort. How they swallow truth to keep love intact. How they dim their colors just to make others comfortable. And it is not your job to shame that past. It is your job to honor it, not by staying in it, but by holding it with reverence as you walk beyond it. You are not erasing who you were. You are returning to who you've always been. Beneath the roles, beneath the defenses, beneath the resilience that was never meant to be permanent. This is the sacred unraveling, the gentle unbecoming, the holy grief that says, I loved who I needed to be, but I no longer need them to lead. You might feel unsteady, you might feel tender, you might find yourself missing patterns that no longer serve you. Because even familiar pain can feel like home. But still, you walk forward with trembling steps and an open heart. Because something within you knows. This time you are not becoming to be accepted. You are becoming to be free. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. Let yourself love the layers that kept you alive. But do not stay wrapped in them. You are allowed to grow without guilt. You are allowed to rise without apology. You are allowed to be more than what survival once required of you. And if no one ever said it, I will thank you for carrying yourself this far, for being brave enough to outgrow even the parts of you that once felt like everything. There is no shame in grieving who you had to be. There is only grace in honoring that version while choosing finally to become who you truly are.